The Modern Warfare 2 Season 1 Reloaded update just went live, and this update provided a lot of quality of life changes to Modern Warfare 2 that everyone has been asking for. The patch notes actually listed 93 bug fixes and glitch fixes alone, not to include the 63 major changes we're going to cover in this video. We got a new weapon, 2 new game modes, and a ton of weapon tuning. So there's a lot to cover, let's dive right in. The new weapon being introduced is the Chimera. It has an integrated suppressor and slow, high-energy subsonic rounds. Chambered in 300 Blackout, the Chimera is best at close quarters combat, and the subsonic ammo it uses will hide kill skulls from the enemy team. The enemy team will know when you kill someone on their team, but they don't know where they died at. This weapon will actually be unlockable via weapon challenge or buying the store bundle. Well, while we're on the subject of weapons, let's talk about what changed, what got adjusted, and what got tuned. So, with the weapon adjustments, generally all akimbo pistols have received a damage reduction against armored opponents. There were some major changes to assault rifles. With the M13, you were no longer able to use the underbarrel launcher or underbarrel shotgun on the 7-inch Bruin BM20 barrel, because technically these attachments stuck out further than the barrel of a gun itself. The Castile 545 got a huge buff. It has an increase in muzzle velocity, meaning the gun is going to climb a lot more when you shoot it, but it had a decrease to hipfire spread, an increase to damage at close range, and an increase to the chest damage multiplier, meaning the more times you shoot someone in the chest, the more damage you'll do with each consecutive shot. And in the submachine gun category, the Castile 74U had a small nerf. It had a small reduction to close quarters damage, and a 3-hit kill with the Castile 74U now requires at least 1 chest shot to attain that 3-hit kill. The MX9 got a pretty big buff. It has increased movement speed, increased aim down sights, and increase in sprint to fire speed on the 32 round magazine. Overall, the MX9 got a huge buff for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. The Vel 46 got a buff as well. It has a reduced hipfire spread, increased movement speed, and increased far range damage, meaning that the Vel 46 will be a little bit more viable at range. Moving on to the pistols category, the Basilisk had a kind of a neutral change. They're blocking Basilisk compensators and flash hiders on the F-Tac arrow barrel, but they're allowing muzzle attachment usage on the F-Tac arrow barrel, so you can use the Lockshot KT85, the SA Lever 55, or the Cronin Dark KX30. The 50GS pistol had a huge buff. It has reduced hipfire spread, increased one-hit headshot range, increased damage range, increased neck and upper shoulder location damage multipliers, increased bullet velocity, your bullet will get there faster, increased damage range on the SA Longshot 50 and the SA Tyrant 50 barrels. Overall, the 50GS got a huge buff, and it might be the go-to pistol for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. With shotguns though, we got a huge nerf in Warzone 2. Shotguns can no longer kill fully armored players in one shot. This was a change that I think needed to be made, and I'm glad it came out. With the Expedite 12, there's a little bit of a change to attachments. It actually got an added guard category, so in the guard category you'll now have the TE CF40 guard, the AZ40 shot guard, and the Azeroth T15. Basically, it got a little bit of a change, but overall didn't really get improved too much. As far as melee goes, the Riot Shield got nerfed pretty hard. It has reduced movement speed, reduced melee damage to a now 3-hit kill. The shield movement animation is improved, so you have a little bit better movement while actually running with the shield. And there's a longer switch time when pulling out a throwing knife when the Riot Shield is equipped. As far as rocket launchers, the Joker had some minor quality of life changes. The missiles no longer land out of bounds when targeting a wall on the edge of the map, and the improved thermal readability while aiming in means you can see players a little bit easier, or see targets a little bit easier. And I mean, there's another thing that kind of came out that's kind of cryptic. The weapon tuning had some changes made, but it's really unclear what was happening. The most beneficial tuning value magnitudes have been increased. Some harmful tuning value magnitudes have been decreased. This kind of tells us nothing, but it does mean that weapon tuning is becoming more viable in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. And as far as specific attachment changes, the only thing that really got changed was thermal optics. There's an increased range of all thermal optics target identification, so you'll be able to actually identify targets from farther away, and enemies' heat signatures will fade when they are killed. They won't stay warm and distract you, making you think there's someone on the ground laying there when there's really not. Overall, good changes in the thermal optics, and moving on to vehicles. Vehicles got an overall improvement. There's a lot less damage when hitting objects, we should expect to see a lot less bugs with vehicles, and along with this, there was just an overall ton of quality of life changes for these vehicles. These quality of life changes are something that people have been asking for, especially with the boat flying and all the different kind of glitches that have been coming out in the game because of vehicles. I'm happy to see that a lot of this got fixed. However, we're getting 2 new game modes in the update. We're getting, first, the Warzone Cup, which is a limited time mode. This limited time mode is based off of the World Cup going on right now at the same time. With this mode, you'll get 2 teams of 3 operators, where they will have ATVs with a pulse ability to push a massive soccer ball into the other team's goal. You can collect and toss shock sticks to stall your enemies, or you can use your boost on your vehicle to ram them out of the way. First team to score 5 goals wins, or the team with the most goals at the end of the 5-minute time limit wins the match. Basically just Rocket League and Call of Duty. The other game mode, though, is probably the most anticipated part of the Call of Duty update. It's the first major raid being released today. It's called Atomgrad. The raids are 3-player Spec Ops missions that will take a chunk of time to complete, estimated to be around an hour. These missions will see you using stealth, winning gunfights, and testing your ability to problem solve. These missions are multi-stage, and failure to complete the mission in one go results in a complete restart of the mission. So if you die halfway through, you have to restart at square one. You will first have to obtain a raid key though. The raid keys will be unlocked via challenges in Warzone 2 or Modern Warfare 2. Once you use the raid key, you will have access to that raid for 1 week only. After that week, you will need another raid key. The good news is that only one person in your party needs a raid key. Not everyone has to have a raid key to go on the raid. The first raid is kind of centered around a dilapidated nuclear facility, and that's all we kind of know right now. And if you want to know a little bit more about raids, I'll be making a video here in a couple days about that, so make sure you're subscribed down below for all of your Call of Duty content. But DMZ actually got what seems like a new map or a new area, Building 21. So mysterious new keys arrived in Al Mazrah that unlock Building 21, and with limited intel on how to access the biological laboratory known as Building 21, we know it will take players outside of Al Mazrah into a hyper-dangerous new area of DMZ. It's currently unknown how to get to Building 21, it's currently unknown where to get the keys for Building 21, but it is something that seems like it'll be a very high-risk, high-reward area. Now, as far as specific Battle Royale changes, Battle Royale adjustments have been made with AI in mind, especially in regard to the numerous complaints about too many and too strong AI. So there are some changes made to Stronghold and Black Site AI. They've increased the number of active strongholds to 5, up from 3. The AI combatants got a nerf. Huge nerf. AI damage per bullet is reduced by 26%, meaning AI will have a harder time killing you. The number of AI units per site is reduced by 50%, so you'll have to fight half as many AI as you did last time. And there are further reductions on AI based on squad sizes, so you'll see less AI in duos than in trios or quads. Now, the AI combat reinforcements that come in after you clear a stronghold or a black site will have double time between waves, meaning you'll get a little bit more breathing room before an actual group of AI shows up again. And the number of units per wave has been reduced by 30%. The black site got some pretty serious changes as well. The AI combatants now have additional armor, and completing a black site rewards an upgraded version of the Stronghold UAV, which will sweep twice as far and about 30% faster, making black sites a little bit more worth doing. DMZ also had some changes. DMZ has some changes to cash values and higher cash rewards for contracts in DMZ. Along with that, DMZ now has increased spawn rates for usable items, gas masks, self-revives, revive pistols, and armor satchels, things that your character can personally use. In DMZ though, you can also now join enemy squads if you put out what's called a plea for help. However, this doesn't mean that the squad that shows up has to help you. It could be an indicator of a weak or dying team, meaning that you have a 50-50 chance of getting killed by that squad when it shows up, or getting saved by them. But if you get saved by them, you become part of their squad. And as far as general quality of life updates for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and DMZ, the out of bounds time allowed for the playable area has been increased to 10 seconds. So you'll now have 10 seconds to get back inside the map once you go out of bounds. Ammunition also got a pretty good quality of life change. When a player drops a weapon, the respective ammunition will also drop to the ground. Moving forward, this ammunition will be automatically looted should other players with a partial stack of the same ammunition type walk over it, meaning you won't have to manually select the ammunition when you walk by it, it'll automatically pick it up for you. Ground loot also got a pretty good change. The ground loot now will not try to stack up on top of each other, so you won't get an SMG ammo on top of an AR ammo, on top of an AR, on top of a backpack, all in one spot. And especially one of the other things that changed was when this stuff was near a door, oftentimes you would end up interacting with that door with whatever that object is. I'm currently kind of waiting to see what this change in the looting system actually looks like, because it seems like it'd be a pretty good idea, and it seems like it's pretty good change, but I won't actually know until I get to play it. And along with this, loot boxes and buy stations will no longer automatically stack up everything that you get out of that loot box or buy station. It will force them to spread out in the game, so you won't have a hard time trying to pick up certain pieces of loot after your teammate just bought something at the same time as you. This will be a little bit better for gameplay overall, and a little bit better for faster movement. And one of the other things that they added that's just kind of a quality of life change is now there's a gulag elimination alert. A sound will play to notify the squad when a member in the gulag has been eliminated by an opponent or has eliminated the opponent and won the gulag. This little audio cue will be great just because it allows you to know what's going on if you can't communicate with that teammate. And last but not least, there was 93 bug fixes in the patch notes, and frankly, I'm not going to read out all 93. But for the most part, these bug and glitch fixes should just improve overall quality of the gameplay. It should stop a lot of dev errors, it should stop a lot of failures, and a lot of problems that we've been seeing with the UI and the UX in the game. But overall, reading through the bug fixes and the glitch fixes, it seems like it's fixing a lot of problems we were running into, and I'm happy with it. But I want you to tell me in the comments below, what do you think of this update? Do you think it was a win? Do you think it was a loss? Do you think it should have been made? Just tell me. And if you want to know some secret pro tips to be better at Modern Warfare 2, I'll include a link to a video I made right here, and this will be something that's just going to help out your gameplay overall, so I highly recommend watching it. Until next time, I am Icebergs, your Call of Duty informant. Stay frosty.